Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Monday Lunchtime Digest. I'm your host today, Hayley, with the Oklahoma Counseling Institute. Micah will not be able to join us today, but hopefully we'll be reunited next week, fingers crossed. But even though I'm by myself, I have a lot to talk about today. First of all, we have three brand new trainings coming up with Oklahoma Counseling Institute. I be happy to announce that coming on Saturday, the 14th of June, we're going to have a double feature with our old friend Kayla Jones. And so Kayla used to work with us here at OCI at the Edmond Counseling Professional Development. She's done lots of incredible trainings with us in the past. But on June 14th, she's going to be doing two trainings in the morning. She'll be doing an introduction to sex therapy. In the afternoon, she'll be talking about the ethics of marriage and family therapy. And so, with both of those trainings, both of them will be 3 hours of continuing education. They'll both take place in person at the Halo Project's new location. And as always, you can go to, counselinginstitute.org to register today. We're also happy to announce that Jamie Lavecchio Hayes, who just did a presentation with us last month for substance abuse, she'll be doing another training with us on an introduction to harm reduction and substance abuse counseling. And so if you need 3 hours of drug and alcohol specific CEs, or if you need some live trainings, or if you just want to join us in person for a fun time, join us on Saturday, June 21st, and register today. And so on top of all that, we also have the Summer Super Summit coming up. Yay! It's hard to believe that we are only 4 weeks away from this year's Summer Super Summit. And so we have a jam-packed schedule full of New York Times bestselling authors, full of the directors of professional organizations, of a snake. We're also going to have a live snake exposure too. You don't have to go to that one. That's why we have multiple breakout sessions. But we have lots of incredible breakouts this year at the Summer Super Summit. So make sure you register soon. Space is limited, and I'm really, really excited for this year's lineup. I think we're going to have a whole lot of fun. So to be continued there. And so that's what's going on in the world of Edmond Counseling Professional Development. But as always, if you have any questions or if you need some help with registering, feel free to reach out to me at hello@edmondcounseling.com or shoot me a text or give me a call at 405-440-3034. I'm more than happy to help get you registered. And so, moving on from Oklahoma Counseling Institute, let's talk about the world of mental health. And so, a recent study at the University of Surrey in the UK looked at why is it that night owls, or those with evening chronotypes, typically have higher depression than those early risers, or those with the more morning chronotypes. And so they looked at a variety of factors, a variety of living conditions, of mental health considerations among college students at the University of Surrey. And so what they found was that night owls typically had more alcohol consumption, poor sleep, and practice less mindfulness or less mindful during the day. And if we think about, late sleepers or folks who stay awake later, I could see poor sleep being due to, maybe they're sleeping through the sunrise, or maybe they're sleeping while maybe their roommates are up during the day, so it's harder to get higher quality sleep. Also, if we're staying up later, establishments where alcohol is served are typically open later, so I can see where that can contribute to alcohol consumption. But what the researchers found is that even though these three things may contribute to depression, they may also contribute to poor sleep. That if we have someone who has that chronotype, maybe they are late, they're not early risers, they're night owls. Maybe they don't necessarily want to change their night owl habits, or they can't change their night owl habits due to their job. That instead of necessarily focusing on their night owl habits, maybe just focusing on mindfulness techniques, reducing alcohol consumption, and just improving sleep quality overall may be helpful in preventing the depression or lessening the effects of those triggers to depression and night owls. So I felt like that was a really interesting study, and I found that on sciencedirect.com. And so that's what's going on in the world at large with mental health. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in Oklahoma. And so last week, three major mental health and substance abuse therapy providers in Tulsa, Creoaks, Grand Mental Health, and Family and Children's Services of Oklahoma, received notification from the Oklahoma Department of Management and Enterprise Services that their contracts would be canceled as of May 10th. And so, as we know, those organizations provide a lot of mental health, substance abuse services to Oklahomans in the Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma area. And so, of course, that would be a big blow. Now, since then, Allie Friesen, who is the commissioner of ODMH, has stated that those contract termination letters went out by error. However, the CEO of Creoaks, Brent Black, stated that even though Commissioner Friesen has stated that those went out in error. He has not been able to confirm that with the Oklahoma Management and Enterprises Services Department. And so it's really unclear right now if their contracts will be severed as of May 10th, or if there's room for negotiation, or really what is going on. According to the CEO, they will be providing services business as usual until they receive word. And so he doesn't want to pass on those concerns to the consumers of their organizations. And so until then, we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, if those contracts are severed or canceled or unable to be renewed, that's thousands of Oklahomans' mental health and substance abuse services that may be affected. And so to be continued. You can read more about that on newson6.com. And so a lot of news going on in the world of mental health, but also we appreciate you all liking and watching and interacting and sharing these posts, not only to get the word out there about what is going on in the world of mental health or what's going on in the Oklahoma Counseling Institute, but also because we get to give away cool prizes too. Again, every time you like this post, share this post, or comment on this post, not only do you help us grow, you help us to be seen by others, help us to feed the algorithm, if you will, but you also get entered into a chance to win a prize. And so each week we've been giving away a free on-demand course from the Oklahoma Counseling Institute. I'm very happy to say that this week's winner is Miss Karen Pounds. Yay, Karen! So Karen had liked this post and commented on this post from last week. So she got 2 entries, and so she is this week's winner. And so if you'd like to be like Karen, again, like this post, share this post, or tell me your answer to today's question. And so I wanted to go a different route today. I feel like I've asked a lot of questions lately. And so this week, instead of a question, I have a question for you. Would you tell me a fun fact? Tell me a fun fact in the comments, something that you've learned. You can even ask Google for a fun fact for the day. Google's really good at giving fun facts. But my fun fact is that the colors red and orange actually, research suggests, makes us more hungry. And so that's why fast food establishments use a lot of reds and oranges in their marketing and in their paint, because it makes us hungry. It makes us order more food, which was fascinating to learn. Also, the research suggested that blues and greens make us less hungry. And so if you think about any of the buffets, if you've been to buffets in the last 5 or 10 years, a lot of them are painted with blues and with greens. It makes us less hungry. We're taking less food because it's a buffet. We've already paid our money. Depending on how much we eat, doesn't really matter. And so if they can save money by having us eat less, despite paying for that whole buffet, I mean, that's in their favor. So it's really fascinating how colors can have an effect on our hunger and our satiation. And so tell me a fun fact in today's comments. And again, every time you comment, like, or share, not only do you help us grow, but you also get entered into the drawing for next week's prize. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining our live trainings. Thank you so much for supporting us in all the ways that you do. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week and enjoy the beautiful sunshine. We'll see you next time.